This is my fourth State of the State while serving as governor of the state of Maryland. But there is definitely something different about this moment.
Governor Moore delivering his State of the State address today in Annapolis.
The state's top official spoke about many topics, and that includes crime, energy, and the state's relationship with the White House. Thank you for joining us. I'm Kai Jackson.
And I'm Mary Bubala. Fox 45's Mackenzie Frost joins us now, breaking down what was in the address. Mackenzie.
Well, Mary and Kai, the governor spent nearly an hour talking about the state of the state here in Maryland, but there were some gaps in the address that Republicans say deserve to be filled with details.
Lawmakers and leaders alike filled into the State House of Delegates chamber. Preparing to settle in for Governor Wes Moore's fourth State of the State address.
Protect, deliver, and lead. That's the assignment. And that's what I want to talk about today.
Governor Moore sending a clear message to Marylanders and those watching from afar, arguing the Trump administration is negatively impacting the state, from denying Western Maryland's flood disaster relief to SNAP benefits and immigration policies.
We will protect them no matter where they call home and no matter how they voted in the last election. And it's a philosophy that I wish the Trump-Vance administration understood.
Acknowledging the pinch so many Marylanders are facing with their own budgets, the governor says he cannot control federal tariff policies.
But we will work together to contain prices where we can, to grow our economy because we must, and build new pathways to work and wages and wealth.
A recent Wallet Hub study ranked Maryland second to last in the country to start a business, making growth a challenge, something Republicans were quick to jump on.
You know, he took credit for introducing a balanced budget, which he's constitutionally obligated to do.
Marylanders were just saddled with $1.6 billion in tax and fee increases last year. With no hikes on the table right now, Republicans are still searching for specifics.
He didn't really speak to Marylanders today.
The governor also touting Baltimore's violent crime reduction.
The last time the homicide rate was this low in Baltimore, I was not born yet.
While giving a shout out to the mayor of Baltimore.
So we worked with our leaders, with fantastic city leaders like Mayor Scott in Baltimore.
No specific mention to City State's Attorney Ivan Bates, who argues his tougher on crime approach and commitment to prosecuting repeated violent offenders is the driving factor behind Baltimore's historic drop in homicides. Republicans argue while the Trump administration's cuts to jobs has impacted the state, the governor should do more to own a solution.
I think this governor is always looking for somebody to blame. The reality is he has to step up and take leadership on his own.
Do you think his attacks on the Trump administration today will help the state of Maryland move forward, given all of the problems that we're facing?
I never think that those type of attacks are useful.
While on the topic of immigration, Governor Moore thanked lawmakers for working on bills like the proposal to end 287G agreements in the state, a plan that's fast-tracked for success. But the governor also took aim at some ICE agents, calling certain actions unconstitutional.
You can disagree with the policy, but there was a lot of sort of halfway D.C.-style left-wing political talking points in his speech.
Prior to the speech, we spoke with House Republicans who brought up Moore's first State of the State.
I like soaring oratory myself sometimes if I can pull it off, but I got news for you. It doesn't pay the bills. We are not the best at hardly anything.
Given the foster care problems highlighted in recent months and the death of 16-year-old Kanaya Ward in the state's care.
What does it say if the governor doesn't talk about foster care today at the State of the State?
I think it says that once it leaves the front pages of the newspapers and the television shows, that it stops to become the political talking point. I hope that's not the case.
Well, Governor Moore ended his speech with the familiar phrase,
"Let's keep up the work, keep up the faith, and let's make sure we leave no one behind inside of this process."
Maryland's foster care children were not brought up at all in the address.
Now that this speech is complete, conversations will turn toward addressing the budget and finding a solution and a compromise, one that will no doubt include some cuts to various departments as lawmakers find a way to close the projected $1.5 billion budget shortfall. Kai?
Yeah, Mackenzie, we know that the governor did talk about the hot and controversial topic of redistricting in his remarks. How was that received?
It was a mixed reaction, Kai. Some people were telling me after that they were surprised to hear the governor bring up redistricting in his State of the State address. And sitting right behind him as he was talking about this issue was Senate President Bill Ferguson. And the governor did not call on him by name to bring this issue up for a vote in the chamber, but he called on the Senate overall to continue the debate as we continue to see the pressure mount for this issue.
No, I know there is disagreement right now between the House and members of the Senate. So my ask is simple. Do not let the democratic process die in the free state. Debate it, discuss it, make adjustments if necessary, and put it to a vote.
A little difficult to hear at the end, but there were some boos mixed in with the cheers following the governor's comment about the redistricting. And again, sitting behind him was the Senate president, who could be seen not looking very happy during those moments. However, shortly after, the governor and the Senate president shook hands after the governor talked about working together and finding a way to come together to move forward on various issues. But at this point, the Senate president has not changed his mind and remains opposed to bringing up the redistricting effort for a vote in the chamber. So he still is that biggest hurdle for the governor to move forward after the plan did get approval from the House of Delegates. Live in the State House, Mackenzie Frost, Fox 45 News.
I'm Kai Jackson. Thank you for watching. Here's another video to watch. Also, please take a moment to subscribe to our channel.